I can't put down the cup. I can't put down the cup. With a feet I fell in love. I can't put down the cup. You're... That's how I feel right now. Just so y'all know. That's how I feel right now. Ba ba ba. Ba ba ba. I'm getting all my crazies out right now. This is just energy. This is just me getting energy out right now. Okay, alright, I'm done. What's good? It's your boy, Daniel Bear, aka Natty, aka That Nigga. And we are back again. If you may have not noticed by the title card of the stream or video, this is I don't know if I'd call this a recap. First of all, let me make sure all the audio is right. Cool, all the audio is doing good. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, that's right, there's no video. Okay, so, actually let me lower down the music just a bit. Cool. Oh, excuse me. Now, once again, welcome back to the video / stream. This stream / video is a newer idea I've been kind of mulling on over the past couple months. Just, you know, I haven't wanted to commit to a schedule on streaming because I just kind of do it whenever I can. And now that I've kind of gotten to somewhat of a rhythm, I think I'm going to arrive to a schedule pretty soon. And I'm only saying that because now this year more than ever, I've really been getting into an understanding of like that 20% of things that move my personal brand needle forward, not just people and artists I'm working with and the teams I'm on and the businesses I'm working with, but rather just myself and my own businesses. And one thing I'm going to start implementing is this guy right here that we're doing right now, which is like a week, not a week recap, more so than it is a week pre-cap. Yeah, that's what we're going to call it, a week pre-cap. That's actually pretty cool. I'm going to rock with that. But yeah, so this is a week pre-cap. And I generally do this every other Sunday. I really started doing it ever since a leadership meeting or a leadership retreat I went to from a former job, door-to-door knocking job actually. I was invited to a leadership retreat, and one of the many things that was discussed on the retreat was this idea of, I don't think it was owning your week. It was some nuance to that degree, but it was this idea of committing an hour every Sunday, because Sunday being the first day of the week, you know, it kind of sets up the alley-oop for the rest of the week if you can take some time out of that day to just solely focus on the things that you're doing to progress whatever needle you need to move forward and or to regress to move even further forward. Because there's nothing wrong with going backwards if there's an intent to go forward again. So I wanted to find a way to hold myself accountable to a lot of the different goals I have, whether it's with music, whether it's with gaming content, whether it's with educational content, whether it's with drawing, you know, the art, you know, kind of content, which I haven't really put content like that out because I'm still growing in that skill. About 2 years in now, which I'm very comfortable with certain things, but not the full fundamental spectrum that comes with drawing. And so, all that to say, I kind of wanted to let y'all in on the process as a form of accountability via this stream / video, because I might edit this into a YouTube video, but irregardless, for those watching, follow me on Twitch at Daniel Bear. But yeah, so this is a week pre-cap, and so it's not just going to be a video, like talking head video, by the way. I'm going to, show you my notes and kind of how I would go about something like this. And the goal is to do this every week for the foreseeable future. I'm pretty sure there'll be certain Sundays where I just can't because of circumstance. But for the most part, I kind of want to make it a pretty diligent effort to let y'all in on my process. One, just because I don't really create. I create a lot, but I don't create enough that I put out. Henceforth, a part of the journey is documenting. So, which I love. I got it from Gary Vee, which is either you're going to document or you're going to create. One or the other. And I like the fact of, you know, just documenting the process and creating, especially with the certain things I would like to create and want to create. those could take a long time just to come out because of the nature of how I want to create them and what I want them to be and what I want them to mean, which is not a bad thing, by the way, but it just comes with its own case of issues. So, once again, this week's precap, which, what is it? March 9. So, March 9, 2025, this week's precap, we're going to go right into it. Alrighty. So, I kind of already prepared some notes here as far as just generally speaking what I got going on this week, which I'm pretty confident it's going to be a couple other things that I'm not, tracking. But, I mean, I do what I can. So, this is the first. Literally, you can see how authentic this is. I literally started this, today. Even though this is a process I do, generally speaking, I want to, have it tracked. And I want it to be, something we both, as you, the audience, you amazing people, and myself as the creator, to just kind of be accountable towards. And feel free to roast me on things I don't follow through. I don't mind it. If anything, it makes me feel better because it shows that someone else is paying attention outside of myself, and we can really kind of make sense of this shit. Alrighty. Interesting. I just realized my screen is flashing. Is there a reason why? That's odd. That is really weird. It was just going white. Yeah, that's so weird. What? Why are they doing that? Is it because notes is hold up. Okay. Hold up. Let's get the technical issue fixed out first. That's so weird. Is it supposed to do that? Okay. Technical difficulties. Hold up. No, we're going to handle this real time. Okay, so let's go over here. We're going to go to notes, properties. So let's try that again. Okay. Is this better? Okay, so far we're not getting any weird flashy thingies. No weird flashy thingies yet. No weird flashy thingy. No weird flashy thingy. No weird flashy thingy. Still no weird flashy thingy. Now what if we go to and open it? Any weird flashy thingy? Okay. Alright, so it's whenever I have my cursor on it is when it starts glitching out, I think. Got it. Okay, so whenever I'm typing something real time, it's gonna do the white flashy thingy. Okay, cool. I'm not tripping on that. As long as it's relatively legible. Alright, anyway, as I was saying, we have March 9, so this is the week precap we got going on. Actually, just for me, week pre-cap. Notes. Wow. Cool. Daniel Bear, week pre-cap notes. Alright, so we got the March 9 week, which everything from here, moving on from this week. So here are a couple dates that I kind of already, it's super sad song show. Alright, so as far as dates, I kind of already know coming into the week, which I got on March 10 and 13, which is a Monday and a Thursday. I have household sessions, which for those of you who don't know what household is, it is a project started by Spaceman and Hyper Buyers, which if you don't know who they are, please do yourself a service. Go on TikTok and go on Instagram and go on Spotify and look up both. For Spaceman, it is SPCMN. No vowels in Spaceman, all lowercase. His socials are at Hello Spaceman. Same thing, Spaceman with no vowels. But in general, just go follow him. That's an artist project that I'm very passionate about. Been working with him for a very long time now, and I will probably continue working on with him for the foreseeable future. I just love the music. Right now we're doing dance music, but to be honest with you, we do all forms of pop. It's just right now it's kind of just slowly growing through dance and just kind of been gaining an audience through dance music. But to be honest with you, The man's a genius. Can quite literally do any genre. Consider him a sort of Skrillex, sort of a school within that school of production, if you will, where it's not limited to dance, but starts in dance in sort of rock-ish nuances, but really is a pop producer overall. So, Spaceman, go check him out. And then Piper Byers, sis, love her to death. She's started off initially as a country singer, songwriter, and performer, which she still does. So go check out her music. She just dropped a single not too long ago, "Whose City It Is You're In." Go stream that. It's amazing, and that was produced, mixed, and mastered by produced, mixed, and mastered by, I believe, Colorful Sound Studio. So go check that studio out as well. But yeah, Piper Byers. So both of them together makes Household, and I've had the luxury of engineering and co-producing with them on that project. So we got 2 dates coming up over here in March 10 and 13, just for session work. And then on March 12, which is a Wednesday, waiting for confirmation on this, but I'm pretty confident we're going to have it with Westwood session. Once again, westwood.mp3, I believe, on TikTok and Instagram. Don't quote me on the TikTok part, but it's definitely that for Instagram. I'm excited for this dude. This dude's like producer, artist, musician, engineer hybrid. Got some fire-ass music coming out, and dude's fire, okay? Dude's fire. I would highly recommend checking him out. We got a session with him Wednesday. Really, it's my boy Jack's got a session with him, which is I'm Jack Emo, Hymel. So that's cool. That's on Wednesday. And then Friday, we have the Super Sad Song Show, which Piper Byers and her roommate, who's an also super fire R&B / pop singer-songwriter and jazz singer-songwriter low-key, Ashton Edminster, had the luxury of working with her on some of her projects and releases. Amazing vocalist. So beautiful. Voice so beautiful. And both of them got together and made this thing called Super Sad Song Show. I believe it's called Super Sad Song Show. Cause it's like SSS. It's either 4 S's or 3 S's. I always forget. But regardless, I know it's amazing because they had it wasn't a Super Sad Song Show. I think it was it was a fundraiser, but they did something end of last year that I was like, okay, this is a vibe. This is cool. I stand this. I hope they do more of it, and they are. And now I got to do my part. So I'm definitely going to be showing out this March 14th. And if you are in the DFW Metroplex, highly suggest you pull up to that. So yeah, so far these are just just dates that I already know, things are just going to persist this week or just going to happen this week. Those are the dates. And for the most part, I think that's every other thing, because there's another day or two in there that I kind of want to, leave open for just whatever could happen. But more or less, that's what I know for sure is on the docket this week. Now, below March 9 week, you can see I have creative goals, which I should probably do creative goals for March 9 week. All right, so creative goals. We have music, we have art, and we have gaming. Right? Music, art, gaming. We'll throw in education too while we're at it. Because although education could be all of them, I leave it kind of as its own separate thing. So these are 4 aspects, if you will, of kind of what we got going on here, more or less. Now on the music end, I have a couple things. I have to submit 4 to 5 loops or beats to... Should I put his name? I won't put the name. Alright, so I have an agent. I won't put his name on here just yet, just because things are still early on, but I was able to network and meet with a really good connect in the industry to work some of my loops and beats and whatnot. So one of the goals for this week in music is to submit 4 to 5 loops or beats to agent. Now, within these beats, what am I going to focus on? What's going to be the goal? In my head, I feel they gotta be guitar loops. And genre-wise, I want to focus on dark, alternative, R&B. Oh, I see guitar loops. Genre. Dark, alternative, R&B. Melodic, math rock. And let's see, what else? Well, what else would I want? Dark, alternative, R&B, melodic, math rock. Is there anything else? Maybe some folk. Or neo folk. Because, whenever you don't want to just do what the genre is, just add new or neo on it, right? So, I want to submit 4 to 5 loops and beats to my agent, guitar loops. Which, they're all going to be guitar-based, whether it's me playing the guitar or me manipulating and affecting the guitar, right? So this week's goal for sure, we're doing guitar loops, genres, dark, alternative R&B, melodic, math rock, and neo-folk. Will I stream this? Maybe. Maybe only because this is stuff I'm actually sending into the industry, and industry niggas don't like it when shit's just, out there because they want to be working on it and preparing it and getting it ready for release, yada, 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 right? So debatably, I may or may not stream this. Just me making these loops. But I do know for me as a goal, that is definitely something I kind of want to get locked in on, right? So submitting 4 to 5 loops to my agent, guitar loops, genre, and then let's see. Another goal for this week on music. So for those who don't know, I'm a guitarist. I have a bass and a guitar over there just lying randomly around. Just because I never know when I'm going to play them on stream, just, to play them. But as far as, my work, I'm always working on my technique every day. And when I mean every day, I mean almost literally every day. I'm touching the guitar, bass, and working on some nuance of my technique. And let's see. This week, what do we want to focus on? I've been really locking on some songs right now. I'm trying to get my repertoire up because as a musician, to consider myself a musician, one aspect of musicianship is performance. And not just performance in the sense of performing in front of people, but the nature of performing a composition of music. And what do I mean by that per se? Well, I literally mean that in its most simplest way. Because look at it this way. Yes, performing for people is as simple as you get your instrument or craft, whatever it is, and you go in front of a body of people and you share with them what it is you're capable of. But another aspect of that is also performing within yourself or for yourself, or just performing the composition as is without having an audience. So that's kind of been my thing, just okay, remove the audience and just perform. Be able to express and complete the body of music, or have enough stamina to go through the composition effortlessly with minimal to no errors. You know what I mean? So that's kind of been the thing I've been focusing on, and in increasing my repertoire, I've been learning songs that have techniques that I would want to incorporate within my writing style, because I don't have the ability to write etudes. Let me scratch that. It's not that I don't have the ability to write etudes, but I would it's simpler and easier to have other people's etudes with those techniques that have already been made as compositions to then incorporate into my playing, henceforth then using that to then write my own bodies of work. So I've been studying a bunch of other, musicians and creatives that I love, specifically Chon, which I love Chon to death, C-H-O-N, Chon, and Polyphia, DFW, goats in my opinion. So I've been studying their music and compositions, and as of recent, been getting relatively proficient. Not enough to where I can go through a full record seamlessly, at full tempo, mind you, but I've gotten Playing God by Polyphia to about 80 to 90% of the BPM. Granted, as we get towards the end of the record, where the arpeggio from hell, if you will, that one I've gotten under my fingers. I'm just getting it clean right now. So if anything, I guess this week, maybe I can set up song goals. I don't know, because when it comes to guitar, I try to kind of just make sure I just touch it and work on a variety of techniques. So let's see, what can we do to whittle it down? We can work on, maybe it could be just sharing a piece of content or two of the progress I have on some riffs, maybe. maybe we can do that. So like, let's see. Right now, I'm working on Playing God. I've been working on Fluffy by Chon for forever, just because on and off, not consistent practice. So let's see. We can let's work on performance. So this week we're going to work on performance. It seems like that's the nature. So work on guitar performance. Apologize for the screen whiting out. It just is what it is whenever I type and update. Which I probably should do this on Google Docs now that I think about it, but we're on notes, so you might as well continue. But yeah, actually, we might end up, the next one we're going to do on Google Docs. I just don't like how it does like the little whiteout thingy on the screen, but regardless, we're going to deal with it right now. So work on guitar performance. Now that means we're going to work on Fluffy by Chon, and let's actually elaborate on that. Focus on playing cleanly and without stopping. So Fluffy by Chon, Playing God by Polyphia. And let's add another record, because working on these and getting them ready, I would also want to have a clip per one of these. And then let's see. Have one clip per song for the week to show progress. Okay, so each one of these songs, I should be clipping a section of them that I'm playing. So probably on stream, this I can probably stream. So, we're gonna have one stream. There's gonna be a music stream, kind of focusing on Fluffy by Chon, Playing God by Polyphia. Let's see, what's a good third one? If I got any viewers here on stream, please throw in the comments if you'd want a certain song for me to work on. Let's see, what would be a good third one? I almost want to put a Paramore record on there. Tricky. Let's see, what's a song that I would love to work on and kind of master? You know what? There's one record in particular that's kind of been on my heart as of recently, just as life has continued on. And it's actually Gravity by John Mayer. So you know what? I feel like that's going to be the third one. We're going to do Gravity by John Mayer. Okay. Let's see what else. So we have submit 4 to 5 loops, such beats to my agent, which are going to be guitar loops or beats, beats made around the guitar. Genre, dark, alternate R&B, melodic math rock, and neo folk. And we're going to work on my guitar performance, specifically focusing on playing cleanly and without stopping. And we're going to have one clip per song for the week to show progress. And we're probably going to stream this as well. And the records we're going to be working on: Fluffy by Chon, Playing God by Polyphia, Gravity by John Mayer. Pretty solid function for music. Now, art, as some of you may or may not know. Hold up. I am on I started drawing, I won't say seriously, more so than professionally, because I haven't particularly gotten paid for it yet, but I have a sketchbook. Where I draw a lot of stuff. The first page is actually kind of one of my favorite pages, interestingly enough. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if that's legible because of the lighting situation I got going on here. But I promise you, I do take this seriously. I think the first 6 months of picking up my art skill was just sort of me doodling, which I have the other 2 sketchbooks over yonder, which I may even do a video. I know I have one video right now already written as far as like how I got the inspiration to start drawing again, because I used to doodle when I was younger, but I never took it on as a professional skill because of a mental limitation. So stay tuned for a video like that already out, if it's not already out, which I don't think it is because I haven't even recorded it. Anyway, but yeah, so I sketch. I'm always constantly practicing different techniques. And after the first 6 months, I just delved into getting a mentor. I invested in a course by Angel Ganev, Ganev. Yeah, Angel Ganev. Drastically changed my approach to really solidifying the fundamentals, because up until then it was a YouTube University, which as far as YouTube University goes, shout out to Chomang and to Mark Bennett, White Manga, aka Odunze Ogugwa, I believe that's how you say it. DD Mark, shout out to DD Mark. Let's see, so many others. Obviously Ross Strauss, he's dope. There's many others too. I just can't think of them off the top of my head right now. But Peter Hahn and Proco, just in general, Proco does a great job of getting a lot of various artists on his platform and just getting their process and whatnot. And of course, rest in peace, the great Kim Jong-ji. Not to also mention just my anime influences: Akira Toriyama, Eiichiro Oda, Horikoshi, freaking the great sensei, Hirohiki Araki senpai. I forget his first name at the moment. But yeah, a lot of them. Oh, and what's his face? K Urana, Tony Valente. Oh my goodness, Tony Valente. I actually want a lot of my coloring style to be mimicked after him. Anyway, I'll go on a tirade on all the people that I love and just looking at my art. But nevertheless, this week in art, man, I did some One Piece studies because I got my homie Davey. Shout out to Davey Newton. He got me an OG, the original Tankobon for, I believe it was the Wano arc where they're fighting King and Queen before Kaido. And so I was kind of studying that. I really enjoyed, using that as a study. Kind of helped me really get a good feel of Oda's line work and kind of how he goes about expressions and a lot of the shape language. So let's see, with art this week, I do want to do master studies, kind of studying Oda's work, but more than anything, as I'm looking through my sketchbook, I'm starting to get a really comfortable feel of putting expressions on faces. Now, I do have a personal goal, and it's just a general goal, but it's to draw something that makes me cry. Haven't done it yet, but this is a goal of mine, to draw something just so compelling, so where the narrative is in the composition, and when you look at it, it just invokes emotion. I don't know if it's even possible, to be honest with you, but that is a goal just in general that I always want to hopefully achieve. But this week, something we can apply and put on stream is I would like to study hands and feet. So we're going to do studies for hands and feet. Now, if anything, we might actually even make that a stream too. But I'll put question mark. Because I don't know, I have the capabilities to stream it and do whatever, but I don't know if that's something I don't want to share just yet. I can, but should I? Torn a little bit on that. But in terms of studying hands and feet, we're definitely going to use Chomang, because we're on the, we're on his course right now. And so he has some anatomy studies, so we're definitely going to do that. Hands and feet. Well, let me go a little bit better. Hands and lower body. Because the upper body in terms of chest and arms, might not be able to see this guy. Let's see. Can you see this guy? What if I angled it a little bit? No. Yeah, I'm just going to need better lighting. That's another thing too in general. I just got to invest in better lighting for the evening. But, yeah, I wish you could see it. But essentially, I feel confident in making poses, imposing poses, foreshortening, different things like that, those kind of things with the upper body. But when it comes to the appendages and the lower body, I don't have as much freedom with that just yet. So this week we're going to have our studies focused on that, which we're going to use Chamong videos because we're on his subscription right now, which is super affordable for the amount of talent and skill this man has, truly. Like, just digesting his videos this past 2-3 weeks, even though I'm familiar with the Loomis method from Angel Ganeev's course, somehow Chomang found a way to simplify it in a way that makes it more practical to me. Don't know why, it just is. Granted, the lay-in method that Angel Ganeev goes over is so in-depth and so accurate, so truly replicating a portrait exactly, damn near. Obviously, you have to put in the work to understand like how to do a circle well, your fundamental dynamic shapes, kind of like in Peter Hahn's dynamic sketching, how there's like 4 fundamental shapes that kind of create damn near 4 to 5, I think, fundamental shapes that damn near create everything, so there's some stacking of knowledge for sure, but overall, I'm kind of in the season of Chamong videos right now, so we'll probably do that on stream, and I feel that's enough goals at least on that, because drawing, we're sort of like still building it. Now gaming. Okay, gaming. Alright, that's kind of been the main thing we've been doing on this channel/stream. Really consistently, because one, it's quite easy because I'm a gamer by nature, but then also too, I love I just love playing games. I didn't even know how to explain it. So I kind of have to restrict myself here because there's so many games that we've streamed and whatnot, and a lot of them are fun, but I also want to make clips. I want to make videos. Like, I don't want to like kind of package it in such a way to where it's like a production of sorts, so I can work on a lot of soft skills that get me to the bigger media, which I really want to put media on here because there's some other media things I want to work on, but I'm going to keep that secret for now. For me. It's okay. No worries. You'll know soon enough. But for now, it's just for me. So when it comes to gaming, I can kind of use that as my public muscle to flex those media ideas I kind of work on with storytelling and editing. So for sure, this week I have to edit videos. I haven't done it this past week because I was busy making it, but I have to edit videos. So what videos do I have to edit? So we have right now a Final Fantasy 16 episodes. Have to do those. Marvel Rivals Ranked Gauntlet episodes. So I got Final Fantasy 16 Let's Play episodes. And then I got Marvel Rivals Ranked Gauntlet episodes, which for those who don't know what the Marvel Rivals Ranked Gauntlet, so to me, oh dude, new subscriber randomly in the midstream. Shout out to Moo, whoever you are. But yeah, so the Final Fantasy 16 Let's Play episodes are literally what they are. Final Fantasy 16 Let's Play episodes. I got 12 in the tuck, 2 out, and a couple more to go. Just gotta finish them. Just is what it is. Marvel Ranked Gauntlet. I should have one done pretty soon, and I've gotten a couple others. Like I think the first one, I was like locked in on Silver 2. Now, we're in Gold 2. Pretty lit. I believe I have a reel on my YouTube that shows whenever we got into Gold 3. Man, it was amazing. Granted, we kind of went back and forth between Gold 3 and Silver 1 for a while. But anyway, those are some videos that we have to edit. And we just started this past week doing Monster Hunter World, which was pretty dope in the sense that, like, Monster Hunter Wilds, excuse me. But yeah, we just started on a Monster Hunter Wilds Let's Play series, which that Monster Hunter Wilds Let's Play series is going to kind of indefinitely continue, because the cool thing about that game is once you get past, like, the story, you're really just done with low rank, to be honest with you. The real game starts after you're done with the story. So I just finished, like, the main story, I want to say, yesterday, and now I'm kind of at that point where I got to be ready to enter Endgame, which is virtually infinite, because the DLC and all that stuff just continues it. So I'm going to also want to edit the Monster Hunter Wilds Let's Play episodes, right? And then I just recently started a series that I'm very, 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 very excited about, which is the Kingdom Hearts Let's Play series. For those who don't know, I love Kingdom Hearts. That is arguably my favorite IP video game thing. Maybe in competition with Final Fantasy, but it's the same people the publisher that made Final Fantasy, that's a part of it with Disney. So it's like damn near the same to me. With honorable mention of Persona being very, very, very slightly under all that, because Persona is so amazing and unique in its own right. So yeah, we just started a Let's Play series for that. So we will also want to edit that, which is I'm calling it the Road to Kingdom Hearts 4 Let's Play series. KH1 episodes. Alright, so we have 4 series concurrently going on right now in gaming, which, I mean, this week, even though I want to play all these games, I really do want to play all these games, but I have to edit the videos. Now I can sort of implement like a restriction on myself that I can't stream whatever I'm editing. But then the problem is I'm just gonna feel bad that I'm not doing it, and then I'll just not do it because I know myself. So, once I start generating a little bit more income from the studio work and different things that I'm doing, I will definitely want to invest in an editor that's competent and capable of doing things the way I perceive them. And another thing too, I'm just starting out with my thumbnail game and, just really learning how to storytell and script and cut that stuff that I'm doing now. Like, for those who know, I have audio issues and just different technical issues all the time, because it's pretty much just me, which kind of sucks in that sense, but I mean, I deal with it. Like, it could be worse. It really could be. So, given that, we're going to roll with the punches as we get better with the editing in those episodes, but those are the series we're going to be doing. So, in lieu of those that I have to edit, what can I still stream this week gaming-wise? Should I stream gaming this week? Which I love gaming, and it's a very big de-stressor for me, if you will. So, given the fact that I have all these videos to edit, what I could do, streaming-wise, because there is a game that I love playing that I don't particularly clip up, which is Hades 2. I have early access to it right now through the Homies account, but that is a game we can stream this week. And since we're doing Kingdom Hearts 1 is, like, to me, it's replaying the series, so this whole week I could really see myself just playing Kingdom Hearts 1, because a lot of parts, for me, I'm a grinder / farmer sort of dude. So a lot of the time I'm not even doing the story. A lot of times I'm just like fighting the different monsters and gaining levels, especially since we're on critical mode. So realistically, there's going to be a lot of deaths in this playthrough. And I'm also playing it on keyboard and mouse, which I'm pretty proud of myself for doing. Don't know how it's going to go with Magic just yet, but we'll get there when we get there. Let's see. So what I'm thinking, at least gaming-wise, streaming, I could probably stream Marvel Rivals, but instead of a ranked gauntlet, we could just do, what's it called? Why am I blanking out? The thing that's not competitive, normal, whatever normal is. Wow, I'm just blanking out. So we don't necessarily have to play competitive. Ooh, there is an event going on right now, actually, if I think, on Marvel Rivals, so that's a cool thing. So what we can do then is we could stream Marvel Rivals non-ranked. So that's the one thing we could stream. And then let's see what else. We could stream Hades 2 and clip moments, if any, which in general we can do the same for the Marvel Rivals non-ranked. So we'll clip moments, if any. Once again, for those seeing the white out on the screen, I apologize. That's just because it's updating real time with the new text. Which next time we'll do Google Docs, and we'll just transfer this to the Google Docs. Let's see. I also kind of want to do Monster Hunter Wilds this week as well. So we'll probably add an extra Let's Play episode to, we'll just do MHW. Wilds. Cool. So the only new Let's Play episode we're adding to our docket, even though I really want to play Kingdom Hearts, will be Monster Hunter Wilds, which we'll probably save that for the end of the week. So that'll probably be a Saturday or Friday. Well, no, I can't do Friday because we got the show. So, and then we got Household on Thursday. So Tuesday and Saturday night right now. So this will probably be Saturday night stream. So yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds will be a Saturday night stream, more than likely. And then I think that's really it in terms of gaming, because there's a lot of editing I need to get done. And then education. So for those who don't know, I'm really big into education because, one, I self-educate, I self-curriculatize. I create curriculums for myself for skills I want to acquire, because luckily for me, in my youth, my father was very, very adamant on education. One, because he's a teacher, a PhD in education to be exact. And so I've had the luxury of, being aware of the nuance of how to educate oneself and how to really activate my mind and to learn things that I really care about. Because when I was younger, I had to learn things I could give a damn about. And then as I got older, I realized I could do that for things I care about. So in education, I really try my best to, anything I've learned that I understand that people would want to learn or be capable of, I want to give them access to that. And so in education, all the things I just shared with you, music, art, and gaming, these are all things I feel I can educate. Well, not so much gaming, because gaming, I'm not really a professional. I just enjoy it extremely, as well as art. But art, I feel I've learned enough with art and have enough mileage in art to at least help people get to where I'm at. You know what I mean? And with music, I am definitely capable of educating somebody to be a competent professional that could live off their own craft. So, given all that, my educational content, I'm still working on it. I have like about 4 videos right now that I've kind of scripted in the talking head sort of educational space. More so my personal story rather than any skill in particular, though I do have some takeaways in each of those videos. So right now, that's like the video side. So what I can do, I could brainstorm 4, let's not make a hard number, 2 to 4 new video scripts, talking head videos. And what I mean by talking head videos are essentially literally what you guys are seeing right now on the webcam, talking head video, where that's all it'd be. So like, just to get the point across, this would be considered like a talking head video, where like the whole screen is just me talking to you, transitioning between different takes where I'm here, closer to your face, further away, the memes, whatever, right? So, talking head video, right? So, I would want to have about brainstorm 2 or 4 of these talking head videos. And also, too, I have 2 courses that I'm working on. So, I have what I call GMG Verified, which that's the company and community that me and my team are, Greenhouse Media Group. Feel free to follow us on Instagram. Not a lot going on right now, but more to happen soon. And then I have my Guitar is Simple course. So both of these courses are pretty much outlined and complete in terms of the material they're going to address and the talking points, and some visuals. Now, I would say they're both in pre-production. Well, actually, both are in production now. Pre-production, because I haven't really started production on them just yet. They're both in pre-production. Now, what is keeping them from entering production? To be quite honest, just time. Time and attention. I don't have enough time and attention because, as y'all can see, the week is relatively packed with things that needs to get done. And the cool thing is I'm not mad if certain things don't get done, but this is definitely the task of what is ahead of us and what's in front of us for this week. So in this pre-cap, at least on the education side, I think brainstorming 2 to 4 new video scripts, talking head videos in particular, that's the win. In terms of moving the needle forward on the GMG verified course, right now we have already scheduled a photo shoot for the team, because really it's more so defining GMG and creating website 1. So that's one thing, keeping me from moving into production. And one thing we're currently doing, so the action step right now that we have taken is March 26th. We have a proposed team photo shoot. So that's going to be fun. And that's just going to be to get the whole team, just give a face to the team members of what is Greenhouse. And then from there, another part of the action steps rather, because we need to sort of define GMG and create website, right? So one of those action steps is for sure proposed team photo shoot, which in general, we're going to do it, whether or not, besides the point, team photo shoot, 1. Working GMG pitch deck, and I have a pitch deck for what Greenhouse is and what we've done, kind of what we plan to do in the future. So I got to rework the Greenhouse pitch deck, and then website. I got to figure that out. We used to have a website that showed our projects, so create outline for new GMG website. And luckily we already have like a Pinterest board of stuff, like as far as the aesthetic and the group, because I feel like once all that's done, I want to launch all of that with the Greenhouse verified course as sort of like the thing that people can pay to enter in the community. Because one thing about our community that I really enjoy is that everyone is very open. We always want to help each other. We're always working on creative, fun projects for our own brands. And to create the big pool of what Greenhouse is, which for those of you who don't know what it is, the way I like to say it is we are a publisher that works with brands and IPs that specializes in the music industry, but at large is within the entertainment industry. And so, that could look like we help creative direct a lyric video for an artist, or we help an artist as a production group and team to produce an EP or single or album, you know what I mean? Which we don't do albums right now because that takes a lot of work and stress, and we're doing that in-house to create, testimonials and packages to show others what we're capable of. So there's a lot there that's being worked on, but the Greenhouse Verified course is sort of like, to me, my goal with it is the all-in-one pre-education to enter in the entertainment industry with leverage and autonomy as a creative. Ideally a musician, but not just a musician, also an artist, also a graphic designer, also a video editor, content creator in general at large. I want all those creatives to understand that you are coming into the industry with leverage because you are the most important asset to the industry, regardless of what the industry may want you to think and feel based off their actions and choices. You, at the end of the day, are the barometer by which it moves and breathes. But how can you do that when a majority of what makes the industry and what it is led by people who aren't creative, who lack that and want to stifle it and want to control it and want to degrade it and devalue it? It's difficult. Hence why the GMG Verified course is something I really want to make exist, and at an affordable price point, mind you, as well. So it's kind of like a ticket into the community that is Greenhouse, because I want to make it a restrictive community to some degree, but I don't want it restricted in the sense of keeping people out, but rather keeping the wrong people out and getting the right people in, which any community does, right? But figuring that out, figuring out the nuance of that with the team. So right now, at least the action steps I can have towards that is, we have a proposed team shoot that we've discussed already. I can rework the pitch deck, and I can create an outline for the new website. And now as far as the Guitar is Simple course, I do not think I'll be able to put any work towards that this week. But that is another one that I have on the docket. And I perceive myself carrying a lot of this over to the following weeks. So yeah, hold up. Let us review this real quick. So I'll make this, let's make that a heading. Gonna make this a heading as well. This a heading. Gonna make this a heading and poop. All right. So overall, this is what we got on the docket for the week. At least this is our pre-cap. So as far as just dates, we have March 10 and 13 Household Sessions, which is a Monday and a Thursday. On Wednesday, we got Westwood, which we're still waiting on confirmation, but I'm pretty confident it's going to fall through, or going to go through. And then on this Friday, we have a Super Sad Song Show. So if you are in the DFW Metroplex and you are looking for an activity to take part in, March 14, Super Sad Song Show by Ashton Edminster and Piper Byers. Be there or be square. And if you're going to be square, you're doing a very bad job of being square. Now, creative goals for the week of March 9. We got music, art, gaming, and education. Within music, I got to submit 4 to 5 loops to my agent. What type of loops and beats are they going to be? Guitar loops or beats? I'm going to do loops. Genre, dark, alternate R&B, melodic math rock, and neo-folk. We'll figure out how I go about that. And realistically, even though I'm submitting 4 to 5 loops, we're probably going to knock out 12 and whittle down from there. Now, we're also going to work on guitar performance and more than likely stream this. Now, we're going to specifically focus on playing cleanly and without stopping, and have at least 1 clip per song for the week to show some form of progress, which the songs will be Fluffy by Chon, Playing God by Polyphia, and Gravity by John Mayer Legoat. And then we got the art section, which is draw something that makes me cry. Will we be able to do that? Probably not. That's going to take skill and effort, but that's always a goal that I want to have. And then after that, what we're actually going to potentially stream this week is studies for hands and lower body, which in general, I'm going to want to do some of this every single day, like 15 minutes to like an hour or so of work on this at least, but for sure I would like to get some type of stream to where we're just doing the studies for hands and lower body. And the reference for that is going to be the Chomong videos that we're on right now because we're on the YouTube subscription. So we're going to leverage that while we can. And then gaming. We have to edit these videos. 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 Natty, we have to edit these videos. It's going to be difficult, but what do I have to do? Edit these videos. We have the Final Fantasy 16 Let's Play. We have the Marvel Rivals Rank Gauntlet. Wow, that is a tongue twister. Marvel Rivals Rank Gauntlet. 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 Crazy. Anyway, we have that. And then we have Monster Hunter Wilds Let's Play. And then we have the Road to KH4 Let's Play series, starting with Kingdom Hearts 1. And the progression of that I discussed very briefly on the Kingdom Hearts 1 stream, but I'll probably reiterate it every other stream and video after the fact. So while editing those videos during this week, we can stream Marvel Rivals non-ranked content and just clip any moments, if any. And we can stream Hades 2 and clip any moments, if any. So that's going to be cool. And then the new stream that would be adding to the editing workload would be Monster Hunter Wilds new Let's Play episode this Saturday night, which I might make a Instagram post for that. So yeah, we'll see. If I do make an Instagram post for that, I would want to have some form of a sell, if you will, and that sell would probably be one of the videos I end up finish editing to drop on Friday, because Fridays are when I want to drop. If I drop twice a week, it would be Mondays and Fridays. So that was like the start of the week you got something, end of the week you got something, and then hopefully if I get to a really good schedule, it's 1 video a day, which I don't know if I'll be able to do that, at least in the foreseeable future, or the near future. So yeah, that's the gaming stuff we got. And then on education, we got brainstorm 2 to 4 new video scripts, talking head videos, on really any particular topic. So I'll kind of figure that out. And then I have 2 courses or 2 kind of products, information products, if you will, that are in pre-production. One being Greenhouse Media, or GMG verified course, which is Greenhouse Media Group. That's my company that me and my team are a part of. And a big part of this course is defining what Greenhouse Media Group is and creating the website. That's kind of like why I haven't gotten to production yet, because I wanted to find what it is, which I kind of know what it is already for me and my team, but truly just get something simple, something concise, something tight, something really understandable, as well as a website, something visual that people can see and understand it by. Which content is going to be a part of that, not just a website, but I want there to be a place that people can congregate and we can collect an email list and collect people to then get a part of this thing. So, yeah, action steps, March 26th for post-team photo shoot, which is going to be great. It's going to be a great start. But then also, too, it's going to be reworking the Greenhouse Media Group pitch deck and then creating an outline for the new website. And then as far as the second course, which is Guitar is Simple course, the pre-production is done. The outline, what's going to be addressed and what's going to be on it is finished. But in terms of bringing it to life, I can't put too much mental energy for it just yet. So no action steps for that, but I do know that that will be, that's more so a Thanya Bear kind of me personal brand, I think, not just the greenhouse thing. That's going to be kind of an information product that I'll be able to sell and really get people on and provide, just with guitar and the years of experience I've gotten into it, just give that to people and make that very digestible and help them grow faster. And honestly, my whole goal is to have people just be able to express themselves truly through the instrument. So I'm confident that it will be able to do that. The material I've prepared for it can achieve that. It's just packaging it and figuring out the nuances behind it. So that's in pre-production. That's going to kind of stay in pre-production for a while. But yeah, that's kind of what we got on the docket for March 9. That is our pre-cap for the week. Now, let's see. I don't have too much time today to really go into any particular gaming stream or reacting. Actually, that's a lie. I do have one video I want to react to on this stream, which, for those who don't know, the music that you've been hearing right now is the instrumental to my up-and-coming single. Do I have a date for it? No. But it is my first single that I'm going to be dropping in a long time since I took my music off streaming platforms. So what you've been hearing is the instrumental for that, but I am going to currently pause it. So, for one, we're going to mute this guy, and then we're going to pause this guy, and then we are going to open. Boom. There you go. So this YouTube video. So, for those who don't know, I react to One Piece content. This past week, I did not live react to the latest chapter of One Piece, which is 1142. However, this week is break week. So instead of reacting and creating a live reaction to the chapter, which I have like 4 of those documented for like the previous chapters, but I just don't, what's this? I'm not too big a fan of myself just yet and how I make reaction content. It's just not. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's just not really a big fan of how I go about it. Because every time I go to edit the reaction, I'm just like, ugh. Like why am I doing this? What's happening? You know what I mean? But in lieu of not being able to react to that, our boy Arter just dropped a 20-minute episode reviewing a lot of the things that some people may or may not have caught from this last chapter. And, it's one thing if it's me, you know what I mean, as far as, like, reacting to One Piece content and breaking down what I think is cool and what isn't. But this boy Arter, this guy goes in. This guy goes in. So we're going to react to this video on sort of just some of the things that he's seen in, the latest chapter. And I may pause it here or there to, give my thoughts on fill-in-the-blank topic or my surprise to fill-in-the-blank topic. But, yeah, we're going to react to this guy, and then we're going to end the stream on that today. No gaming stream tonight. But as you saw, we're probably going to do some Marvel Unranked or Hades 2 stream this week for sure, in between all the different stuff we got going on, okay? So yeah, without further ado. Actually, should I make this full screen? Let me see what that looks like on full screen for y'all. Yeah, I'll probably do it full screen today. Seems pretty chill. Okay, first of all, Gallarhorn. Wherever my Destiny 2 fans are, please, well, really Destiny 1, but the Gallarhorn, I remember so vividly. I got that Gallarhorn like it was a random drop for, I want to say, a Nightfall raid or something like that. I remember the pure ecstasy I had when I got that cheat of a weapon. When I say that heavy weapon was so abused because of how OP that shit was, like, I mean, you just melted niggas with it. Regardless, just thought I would point that out. Also, Hanafuda, Wano was already a long enough arc as was. I really feel like I guess I kind of understand kind of like how Oda was trying to set up into sort of, Wano and whatnot, but man, when I tell you, like, there's so much plot and story that could have been injected in my opinion, that would have made it even a better arc, but just wasn't. Kind of sucks. And I think Hanafuda is one of them, but another one is the Zoro backstory. I think me and a majority, not just the Zoro fan base, just cuz, but in general, I feel we missed a couple things there that could have been really nice. We didn't get as much hints on that as we really wanted to. My hope is that we come back to Wano again towards the end of the arc, or at least the end of the saga, rather, but I do feel there was a little bit of a drop on the ball there, but this is Oda and One Piece we're talking about. Like, even if the ball's dropped, the ball is only dropped because it's like excellence and like just awesomeness is present. But it's still a flaw to a degree. Shout out Norway. Okay. This is actually a selfish pause. One thing I noticed that Oda does a lot in his, at least an angle that he shows a lot in his sort of, in his manga panels is literally like the one that we're looking at right now. So consider this a personal observation, but I really enjoy it, which is this angle of Frankie right here. That's sort of like back angle, like 3/4 view, but instead of like front 3/4 view, it's kind of like the back one, if you will. He does that angle quite a bit. That's one that's a little tricky for me to figure out at the moment. However, it is one I plan on mastering effectively for my own stories and my own storyboards and my own manga that I'm going to be working on. So it's pretty cool that, not pretty cool, but it's just a thing that I noticed that I think is awesome. The fact that Luffy's at the bottom is wild because in theory he should be able to metabolize the alcohol, at least in my mind, with the amount of heat he can generate within his body. Him and Sanji. With Sanji at fifth, cool, makes sense. But then also too, I can understand because has a smaller body composition compared to everybody else. Just like I feel like the rubber nigga shouldn't be getting that drunk compared to everybody else, but that's just personal opinion. I love how Road is the personification of goon culture. Just that's what it is, man. We gooning out here. Gooners be on stream, and it's okay. Well, not particularly, but it's choice. Yeah. Personal theory, the horns on his helmet are his horns, but I still don't know that to be true. Ah. We don't like ads. We don't like ads. We don't like ads. No, we don't like ads. Bro, okay. Let's just talk about how damn near every other panel that's got this nigga Loki is aura farming hard than a motherfucker. Which to me, whenever you have like, or at least whenever Oda goes this ham to aura farm, that just shows just how much more tragic the backstory is gonna be. So I can do at some point in this arc, we're gonna get a Loki flashback that's gonna, elucidate the reality of what happened with Harold and all them. Which my personal theory is Harold is bad, Loki's good. Holy Knights did all the things, and now Loki's just like F it. I'm just gonna burn the whole world down because you took everything from me, kind of thing. It's my personal theory. Still, this nigga's aura farmed like a motherfucker, and I'm here for it. Love his design, by the way. That this is another thing I love about Oda. Oda has a way of like designing goofy looking characters but making them feel real. And to me, that's a really good skill of his. Because normally, if you just show them like, oh, that's goofy, but then like over time, like, no, like that's a character. Like that, like even like look at the dimension of the face. Like, see where the eyes are, see where the nose is, see where the mouth is, like the chin. Like, yes, exaggerated proportions, but truly still proportional to what would be a face and understandable to be a face. But there's a lot of character, there's a lot of style there, there's a lot of nuance. Even though the line work shows the mastery, it looks scribbly because I'm pretty confident he's like, he'll do like the pencil sketches and then do it actually like in his own drawing style and then print it. But regardless of how he goes about it, masterful. Doesn't seem like it to the untrained eye, but masterful. Ah. That is the thing. I will say, Gunko's arrow fruit, literally to Artist's point, if it's like, because she had it to where it shows you when she was hitting what's his face, Loki, if I remember correctly, like she had the arrows show where she was gonna hit, but it still landed. Now, once again, we're not familiar with the mechanism of this fruit just yet. But and I love this about how Oda goes about fruits. He doesn't always tell you what the nuance of the fruit is. He just names the fruit, so you get an understanding of the visual representation of the attack you see that the fruit does, and then you get the name. And so from the attack and the name, because sometimes you don't even get the name, because if you get the name, it gives you a nuance of really what's possible with the ability. So he even saves the name on occasion, but like he'll show the ability, and it's not just with Devil Fruits, it's in general. When it comes to plots, threads, I mean, really, characters, just motivations, he finds ways to show it. Because, the show and tell thing, right? But the showing of it is so nuanced that you think he's telling it to you. And he is. But he's not really telling you the full story. And I think that's just the nuance of just how he goes about it. Because this is such a cool way. Like, when you think arrow fruit, there's a lot of things you can think about. And just this being combined with what seems to be another devil fruit by the guy who's like somebody who caused the kids to sleep. Or maybe the kids were already asleep and her fruit just allows them to move regardless of being awake or not, because it guides whatever she tells it to. Because maybe she's an awakened form of it or not. Don't know. But you see that there's so many theories we can postulate just from what we've seen and what Oda's shown in the name of the fruit. And to me, that's a part of what makes One Piece so amazing. That's a microcosm of really what makes One Piece great as a whole. It's just all of these nuances that make them feel real and just interesting. It's cool. It's just amazing. And also too, there goes that same angle that I was talking about earlier with Frankie pose I was talking about with that's Saul, I think. Yeah. Like, just look at Saul. Like, that angle. That is like a very common sort of like Oda like reaction panel from the perspective of somebody looking at something else. He does that a lot. Like, more than you'd think. Definitely something I'm stealing. Brother. Probably my favorite design of all of these guys, by the way. Outside of, I'm pretty sure he's gonna address it here, but the kid that said my mom being one of the most his nightmares, like his scariest nightmare. Just Chef kiss on Oda for that. Ooh, yeah. Brings me back to Skyrim. Come on. Come on, man. What I tell y'all? I really do. Same. Okay. Okay. I actually didn't see that. I didn't peep that. That's pretty crazy. Fair. Mmm. Yeah. Oh, it's the worst. That is definitely what scares me, for sure. Whenever it's break week, it's like, it's almost as if my life can't continue. No, I kid. Obviously, we got a lot of things to make my life continue, so I'm not really tripping on that. But yeah, no, chapter 1142. Good chapter. I mean, really a set of chapter. We got Loki freed and starting Ragnarok, which Loki glaze is at its highest, man. I'm investing all my stock in Loki stock right now. Loki stock is up and it's going up. And it's probably going to go even higher whenever that flashback happens. If it happens, of course, right? But yeah, no, this definitely seems to be... I don't think this is the final battle of this, what's it called? Video, if you will. I don't perceive that to be the case. What I do think, though, is this is going to be kind of like that first initial skirmishes that happened in Egghead, only with Elbaf. We'll probably get another year and a half of this arc in my theory. Don't know if we will, but in my theory, we're going to get another year and a half of this arc. And the other half of it would really be the setup for the final war, because we're starting Ragnarok right now, metaphorically speaking. But then it's also like the beginning of the end in terms of the final saga. So I feel we have another 2 arcs to really ramp into some crazy stuff. Because at the end of this arc, we should be able to get the final poneglyph, or at least be alluded to the final poneglyph, which will lead us into the next arc, which is the result of what the final poneglyph is going to get us at. Because pretty much all of the fetch questing will be over by the end of this arc. That is what it seems to be alluding to. Henceforth, the last 2 arcs at the very least are just going to be, in my opinion, the final arc is going to be final battle and epilogue, but like the epilogue is going to be a lot longer than one would think. So, really, this next arc after this arc is going to be even more OP than this arc, in my opinion, right now. Because we're kind of getting some of the Holy Knights, but not all of the Holy Knights. And we don't even know how many Holy Knights, too, to be fair. So, once we know how many Holy Knights we're dealing with, and we get the Emu reveal, which the Emu reveal might be at the final arc, or it could be at the end of this arc. My personal theory, we get an Emu reveal at the end of this arc. Personal theory. Don't have much to back it up either, by the way. So, overall, there's a lot to look forward to, but it's break week this week, so unfortunately not going to really be dropping any One Piece content or reaction. I was supposed to do it last week, but once again, once I do one of those reactions where I'm like, okay, we have a rhythm, we have something going on here, then we'll consider that. But until then, probably not. But, that being said, it has been a solid stream. Great recap for the week to come. Hopefully, next week's recap, we'll be able to talk about some of the successes and wins from this week's recap. And then we'll probably carry some of it over into this upcoming week. I wouldn't be surprised to perceive myself to have similar things to follow up with in the upcoming week, but we don't know. This is the first, and the goal is to continue this foreseeably till the end of the year. There may be certain weeks we don't do it, and if we don't, we'll be very transparent about why. Yes, you have a good night too. Appreciate the sub, by the way, Moo. Appreciate you for staying along. But yeah, without further ado, I appreciate you guys for watching. It's your boy, Fanny Bear, a.k.a. Natty, a.k.a. That Nigga. And it's been a blessing. Like, comment, subscribe, do the whole things. I love you.